All right. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. I am a dungeon master. I am a Lego fanatic, and I go by Jesse's Brick Galaxy. So if you're looking for my content on YouTube, you found me here. Boo boo. And I've got a lot of posts on Instagram and share a lot of Lego stuff. But lately, I've been doing more Dungeons and Dragons. And it being April 1st, I was feeling foolish enough to just impromptu start a how to play Lego Dungeons and Dragons. There is no script. There's a small outline. I will try to speed through this so that people replaying this get something quickly out of it. If you're tuning in live, feel free to ask a question in the comments. Live chat is enabled. Extra Bricks is here. What up? Thanks for saying something in the chat there. I usually have my friends with me playing the game. And it's going to be different for me to just sit here alone and talk to the chat and show you how to play Dungeons and Dragons. But here's my friends. Hey, there's Chef T. How you doing? And my boy Troy out there, Agents of Mock. All right, guys. Zizu tuning in. I knew this is like, I just turn it on live and somebody will show up. Thanks, guys. I'm going to try to show people how to play this game. So it's April 1st and the Lego set came out. It is called A Red Dragon's Tale, and it comes with this Lego adventure. So you have a Lego set, you have an adventure, you have almost everything you need. But what else? What else could you possibly need, right? How do I start? How do I use this Lego set and play the game? And fortunately, if you bought this digitally, you can get a free copy and kind of run through the, I would say, beginning overview and how to run the adventure. Read the whole thing through before you start. That's how a dungeon master prepares. And if you're not going to be a dungeon master, then you probably should not read this book. So for everybody out there using their insider points and getting this adventure, nice little collectible piece. But if you're going to play the game, don't spoil it. If you're going to be a player, don't read the book. You'll spoil all the surprises. If you're going to play the game, if you don't think you're going to play the game, then I guess you can read forward like reading a novel and use your imagination. This would be a cool thing to do. But hopefully this video gives you some inspiration. And the number one thing you will need on top of the set and the adventure is a dungeon master. So be a dungeon master. Somebody has to step up. Somebody has to be the game master. You are the referee. You are the storyteller. The story's all here. And I'm kind of engineer-minded. I like the rules and mechanics more than the role-playing, if you will. But I'm warming up to a lot of the role-play. It's fun storytelling and improvisation. So think about it, but somebody has to step up and be a dungeon master. Number one, be a dungeon master. And then you have this book and read the book, and it will give you, I will say, not only the story, a 6-part story, 6 different scenes that goes through the whole Lego set. Let me share my other camera. Boom, there's the Lego set. So we have, let me get rid of the clicker here. I'm gonna bring that back though. So we have this new Dungeons and Dragons 50th anniversary tale, and you get monsters. Here is a displacer beast, and you get characters. This is the fighter, a gnome fighter, and I like to put them on these little game pads to move them around a little easier and they don't fall down. So there's hint number one. Put the players on these little circles or something so you can move them around. And then the this guy can chase him, and you can roll for initiative and have a fight or have an adventure. So let me go back to me on the screen and say hi to Nikki. Hey, Nikki, thanks for being here. I am just thinking people need someone to tell them how to play this game. And because I see people buying this book and they don't, the book will tell them what to do, but the first thing you need to know is somebody has to be the dungeon master. And if you're going to be the dungeon master, read the book. But if you're going to be the player, don't read the book, because it's like spoiling the story. You're going to spoil all the secrets, and that's half the fun. There's a lot of pieces to the pie. The dice are the next thing that will give you random outcomes. And that's what doesn't come with the game, right? So the number one thing you should buy, in addition to the Lego set and the adventure module, is a set of dice. Here's some cool looking dice. You will need a set of 7. They usually come in. These are something you could get at your game store, something you can get at Amazon, just Amazon stuff. I don't care. It comes with a 4-sided dice. That's your 4-sided dice. Comes with a 6-sided dice. That's your D6. Comes with an 8-sided dice. That's your D8. Comes with a 10-sided dice. And it comes with another 10-sided dice. So you can do percentile. So that would be 50. And then if you rolled a 7, it would be 57. Comes with 12-sided dice. There's your D12. And then the most important, a D20. This goes up to 20. And the highest thing you can roll is right there. Boom, 20. 20 out of 20 usually is a critical success in the game. And if you fail, on the opposite side, there is the bad news 1. You critically fail whatever you're rolling for. You're rolling to attack, you're rolling to save, you're rolling to just some sort of skill, climb up a bridge without falling down, avoid or find a trap, perception and investigation things. I'll try to do a more in-depth video that is playing D&D. But it helps to watch people play. So you could go to my channel. Nikki and Troy and Mel are all players of mine, friends of mine, playing. I have 2 playlists now, 2 years of Critical Bricks. Season 1 has us just starting out, learning the game, level 1, how to do this. And we have a lot of learning curves. But the biggest thing is to not be afraid to make mistakes. It's a game. You're going to make mistakes. And as a game master, you can improvise the rules. Let your players know, hey, I don't know how this works, but roll a d20, 10 or higher, success. And just make it up as you go, and then read it up later, and then you'll learn something, or learn things on the fly. And the second big tool going to mention right off the bat in the beginning of the video here is to go on a website. D&D Beyond is an official website for Dungeons and Dragons, and they have all the tools you could possibly need to be a game master or a player. And the free subscription is a pretty good deal. Going to make myself small. I've got the digital version of Red Dragon's Tail up here. I clicked on that for 0 points, and it gave you a digital copy. And here it is, friends. This is it. I'm going to speed through the scenes. You see how there's scene 4, basement. And then scene 5, the tower. And then scene 6 is the dragon. Yeah, you don't want to read that as a player. It goes through some rules. Before I go through a D&D Beyond, there are some rules to play the adventure without D&D rules. Basically taking turns and flipping a coin. 50-50 shot, you win or lose if you need to make without dice. Once you get dice, it gets a little more challenging. But you can do it with this book alone. All the magic items that are findable in the adventure are explained in here with a quick statement. And the character sheets are also included. You have your dwarf cleric, and the stats, probably too hard to read there. Sorry about that. I could probably zoom in. Hey. It's like I was... Oh boy, how do I... I'm almost there. Let me make this bigger like this. Okay, now can I see the bottom of the screen? No? That's weird. All right, well, you guys can read that better now. So let's look at the dwarf cleric. This comes with the adventure. You start off as a level 5 player. You have AC, which is armor class. You have HP, which is hit points, your health. And you have hit dice. That's how you get health back when you take a short rest. You have a proficiency bonus. It's just kind of like your natural bonus if you don't have any extra skills. And then here's your skills according to ability. The 6 different stats are strength. Let me go back to comments here. Oh, good. KO is here. What's up, KO? Thanks, Nikki. I wanted to think of maybe inviting you to sit alongside, but I think I just need to kind of get on my soapbox and hopefully cruise through. But if you have a comment, please, if I missed something or you have something you in particular want me to cover, let me know. And we are off. So this is not the D&D Beyond website. Let me take that banner down. This is the Red Dragon's Tail Lego Adventure. So if you use this book and look at the players, you will see all these players with, and I won't get into the details. I might do that in another video. Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. They abbreviate that. How do you know what's going on here? Now you know, I'm telling you. Here's your saving throws. So if you want to break something with strength, you have, or you have to break out of something with a saving throw, you have a +2 to your strength according to this modifier. And you roll a d20 and you add +2, and hopefully you get a high number, higher than whatever the dungeon master explains the difficulty rating of that roll. So it's usually a difficult challenge DC, a difficulty challenge, something like that. DC of 15, roll higher than a 15. Okay, you have other proficiencies. We won't get into that. You have equipment, you have simple tools, you have a favorite attack. It goes all through this in the adventure on how to be a player, how to use this player. This is a cleric, so they also can do spells. The attack roll for a spell is a 1d20. Roll a 20-sided dice, +7. Add 7 to your roll. And if you're successful against the armor class of the monster, then you hit. And sometimes you need a spell save DC. That is the difficulty of 15. You have to roll higher than a 15 to either like dodge out of the way of a spell or concentrate on it or something. Dodging would be dexterity. So, okay. So there's a bunch of spells there. We won't get into that. There are spell slots. I guess I'll do this real quick. Cantrips are unlimited. It says 4. You can do those as many times as you want in a day until you take a long rest. And then there's first level spells, and you have 4 spell slots. You see the 4 boxes there. So if you use a spell, you should check the box and you use that up until you take a long rest, which will give you back your hit points and give you back your spell slots. Okay, so that's how spells slots work. Second level, you only have 3 slots. Third level, you only have 2 slots. So your highest level, you usually have less, only 1 or 2 that you can do per day or per rest. You also have some class features. Your class is a cleric for this guy, and channel divinity is one of the things. You'll have to look this stuff up, and I think if you don't have D&D Beyond, you could just Google D&D 5e usually helps. That's the edition that is current right now. So Google Preserve Life D&D 5e, and you'll get some chatter about how to do this stuff. So another good tip is just Google it. Just Google it. The other thing I will say is use D&D Beyond. D&D Beyond is free for certain things. You will actually be able to do quite a few things for free. I've got the website up here, and this will help your gameplay. If you get the subscription, there's a free trial. You can start for free and have 6 characters, I think. Where is the free thing on here? Early access. I'm not sure. Sorry. But there's a hero tier and there's a master tier if you want to pay $2.17 a month or $4.58 a month, and you'll get unlimited characters, homebrew content, access to all tools and subscriber perks, and more data. So it's worth it if you're going to get into it to go ahead and give it a trial and try it out. You can cancel anytime. And then you will be able to, and important, again, somebody needs to be the game master. The game master needs the dungeon master, the DM, and let me put up the banner again. Be a dungeon master. Somebody has to be the referee. Somebody has to guide the story. Somebody has to make a call and know all the secrets moving forward. So I can open my chart here where, let's not show that part, where I have, and I did it again. I have our campaign up where we played using the red dragon's tail and 4 or 5, put in a 5th character there. And what's cool is they don't give you a name. So the first thing you do as a player is give your player a name. And then you can level up and gain skills and spells and hit points, and it just goes on and on and on. But somebody has to be a dungeon master. So if you're using D&D Beyond, the first thing you want to do is create a campaign. And you can do that from this screen here, My Campaigns. If it goes there, there we go. And here's some of my campaigns. We have our Critical Bricks. We have our Forgotten Realm in-person game. We have some of our Red Dragon Tail A team and B team. I'm getting ready to play again. If you want to watch us play the adventure, we played 2 sessions, 2 3-hour sessions. So it took us 6 hours to play the Red Dragon's Tail. So you could do that in a night in person, or if you're doing it virtually, you might want to break that up into 2 sessions. If you're the DM, go ahead and create a new campaign right there. And then it'll start like this, has 0 players. You can view the campaign here, and it will give you a link to send to your players. And then you email that to them, and then your players will join the campaign. And then I'll go back. So here is a campaign with 4 characters already joined. So we have Troy played Claudius Lox, Wizard Elf. Mel Brown played Jurak, a gnome fighter. We have Slovenia, the Guardian, that is a dwarf cleric played by Nikki. And Sneak Attack was an orc rogue played by Larry Legend. So there is my previous game. We already had some experience playing the game. Let's go to the chat. Still learning to be a DM or GM for my own custom D&D campaign at some point. That's why I made this video for you, KO, and hopefully a bunch of other people watching. And number 1, get some dice. Number 1, decide who's going to be the I'm like 2 number 1s, right? Number 1, somebody has to be the dungeon master, and you got to learn. And Extra Brick says, I feel like dungeon masters might be bass players or drummers. They set the tone, they set the beat, to a song. They're extremely important. There are not enough of them. Exactly. And that was my worry, was people are going to buy this. They're going to buy this. Let me make myself a little bigger. They're going to buy this and then want to play the game. Somebody out of 5 friends has to be the dungeon master. So be the dungeon master. 1 out of 5, it has to be the DM. And you can trade places, and that's what I think small groups of friends can do. We've done that a little bit, actually. Hoping that happens some more, so I can play the game as a player, because it's fun to not know what's coming up. So that's what I'm trying to say. Don't read this if you want to play the game, because you don't want to know what's coming up. You want to be surprised at what's coming around the corner, what's in the basement, where you don't want to know where the traps are. You want to look for traps and be happy that you successfully found and disarmed a trap. Extra Bricks is saying, did you say that twice? Yeah. Well, it's worth saying twice. All right. Half hour in. Be a dungeon master. I've got some real easy banners. Invite 4 friends to play. There are 4 characters in this adventure, and it will behoove you to have at least 2. At least 2. You can play one on like 1 player, but at least 2. You can have 2 to 4 players. Don't go crazy like I did and invite 7 to 8 people. That's way too much. You end up waiting for your turn and delays the game a bit when you need to make decisions. As a new family of adventurers together, can't even decide who's going to open the door or what door to open or which direction to go or to fight or make friends with a character you meet. It's harder to do with more people. So make some friends, invite them to play, and remember, it's a game. It's supposed to be fun. Don't worry about the mechanics too much. You can make up some of the rules as you go along and look it up later. And like I said before, you could look it up on Google. Just Google D&D 5e and then whatever you want to ask. And you'll get some good Dungeons & Dragons has been around for 50 years. 50 years of Dungeons & Dragons. And that's the celebration, the reason we have this Lego set with this cool instruction booklet. Props to Chainsaw U, who did the art. It's really cool. And you can read this, obviously, while you're building the set and learn about the game and the history of Dungeons & Dragons and the heroes in the adventure, right? So there's your 4 heroes, and you'll need 4 friends and a dungeon master. So 5 people. 5 people if you want to play this completely through. And it's not necessary. You can add a character like we did. I added a tiefling bard just in case we had a 5th player, or made it a non-player character, NPC it's called. So I've shown that part, instructions. I've shown a lot of this adventure. I've done some of the rules on the players, a little bit of D&D Beyond. Let me go to the chat. We got a couple of things. I heard 6e might be coming out later this year. They are doing a new version of Dungeons & Dragons. So if you're just getting into it and you want to wait, that's okay. The new player handbook, the Dungeon Master Guide, will be coming out later this year, 2024. Not sure if it's going to be called 6. It might just be called 1 D&D. People will be calling it 5.1 or something, or 5.5, because it's not really going to change too much, I think. Here are the physical copies of the player's handbook. This is very helpful for even the dungeon master to own. There's a lot of rules in here to help your players play the game. You can get the physical book or get it on D&D Beyond. So I will go to sources and go to the player's handbook on here. And I mean, it's got the cover art, boom. And it's got all the chapters on choosing adventures, choosing your race, choosing your class, choosing your personality and background. And that's another important kind of thing to say. People kind of skip over the background of the story, like where did this dwarf cleric come from? What is and since Nikki's out there, she had some really cool background. She picked her divine god, even, whatever deity this cleric was drawing from Egyptian kind of Osiris and Isis gods. And you can have your players tell you these things to the game master, and then the game master can hopefully wrap the story into some of the backgrounds. Maybe there's a temple inside this ruin of a Lego set, and the magic item you find is perfect for this cleric. So that's the player's handbook. Then the dungeon master should probably have a dungeon master's guide. I don't actually use this a lot. It's a lot of how to homebrew a session. There's a lot of, let me see. So let me go to the sources. Dungeon Master Guide on the screen. Here's the chapters, basically. Making a world, creating a multiverse, creating adventures, creating non-player characters. All this stuff is like given to you in adventure modules, like the Red Dragon's Tale. So you don't really need all this stuff. Environments, maps, random encounters, treasure, running the game. Oh, finally 8 chapters in, and we learn how to play the game. So chapter 8 is definitely good, but it's a lot of specifics on interactions, poisons, and social interactions, and things like that. It's really weird how unuseful. I'm not selling this. I don't think you need this to be a dungeon master so much. There's also the key third book that you should get as a beginner, monster manual. But what I'm getting at is what's more important is the adventure and how the adventure is laid out if you're not homebrewing a brand new world. So this is the Lego adventure, and this is exactly like a big D&D book like this, Tales from the Yawning Portal, and there's several to choose from, which will give you the story, what to read to your players, what they might see, what monsters they might encounter, and a story arc, and maps and magic items, all brewed in to something just like this Lego set. And I'll share the set again so people can see. There is a tavern. Classic D&D adventure starts at a tavern. There is a ruin of a castle. There are maybe secret doors or traps. There are levels in this tower. And I guess at this point, before we get too long, yeah. So many of the rules are available, easier to look up using D&D Beyond. That's a good point, El Nerd. So D&D Beyond, there's some free, and just Google it. I was like, just Google D&D 5e, and then whatever you want to look up, and you'll get some info. Otherwise, I would advise getting D&D Beyond to help easier. It's so much easier to make a character and level up your character and do all the modifications just with drop boxes. Let's bring it back up. Let's go. Yeah, let's bring it back up. All right, so there's me back 100%. There's a lot of wiki out there. Yeah, you could wiki it, like Forgotten Realms wiki and weird stuff. I'll tell you all about the lore of D&D. But this guy right here is so for characters, we'll go back to this campaign and we'll look at the cleric again, because I showed you the cleric before. And here's what it looks like on D&D Beyond. Just like in the book, you have a character sheet. This is what the character sheet looks like. You have your ability stats, your proficiency bonus, your walking speed, your hit points, your armor class. Your spells are in this tab. You have to hit. So there's actions. This box right here has a lot of things. So here's how you just, hit with your Warhammer. And the cool, another cool thing I can do right here on D&D Beyond is I can click on the Warhammer. It'll tell you all about it. I can click on the +5 here. This is the hit. And it'll roll the dice. So maybe the armor class is 11. That would be a hit. Or maybe the class is 12 or higher, and that's a miss. If you hit, you can do damage right here with either 1 or 2 hands. Click right on there, and it'll roll the dice for you and do the modifier. That's how simple it is to use D&D Beyond. So worth it for beginners because it's doing a lot of the math for you, but it's also doing the modifiers, like you see, so you don't have to search, or you don't have to worry about you're missing something, right? Did I miss something? Is it could I have done better if I added a modifier? And that'll happen. Just you learn as you go. So then again, up here there's spells. You can click on the spell and it'll tell you all about it, the casting time, the damage, the dex save, or to attack. You roll the dice to attack with Sacred Flame and do your damage. You have inventory on here. Let me click out of the box. Here is your armor, your weapons, your climber kits, and all these different things that you find stuff, add them to your inventory. And it's helpful to do things on paper. I have notebooks, so many notebooks that I've filled up with how to play the game, playing the game and keeping track, like a little bit of a journal, but mostly mechanical stuff of where your hit points are going and how much damage you do and things like that. Inventory, magic items you find. You might want to just jot it down on paper and then go to D&D Beyond. And it is pretty fast to use once you learn how to surf around and add things in. Features and traits, again, some really cool things in there you don't want to miss. How, like, for instance, shoot, I don't know if I can zoom in. Dark vision. You can see in darkness up to 60 feet with this dwarf. Dwarven resilience. Advantage on saves against poison and resistance against poison. So right there it says advantage on saves against poison and resistance to poison damage. And if you go over here into the saving throw area, it says it again, advantage against poison. So if you do a saving throw, probably Constitution saving throw, and if you roll with advantage, you actually roll twice. So that one is a 13 plus 2, 15 to hit, or 15 to save. Roll it again, you got worse. And if you have advantage, you take the better of 2 rolls. So that's another baked game mechanic that is hopefully helpful to you, all of you beginners watching this video for the first time. You can roll with advantage. You roll the d20, take the higher roll. If you have disadvantage, like here is stealth, because the dwarf is wearing armor that's really heavy. She has disadvantage on stealth. click on stealth. It'll tell you more about it. It'll actually tell you why you have disadvantage right there, because you're wearing chainmail. So the chainmail's making noise. So you roll a d20 twice and take the lower number if you have disadvantage. So there we got a 6 and a 1. So you have to take the 1. Critical fail. And don't worry about critical fails. It's fine to fail. As a game master, I like when people are getting hurt and making mistakes. And it's just like telling a joke. You know, jokes usually have some amounts of failure built into them. So usually some funny moments come out of failures. So don't worry about it. Have fun. It's a game. So, Extra Bricks is saying it seems like having the computer to do the math can really help keep the game more engaging, right? Yeah, you don't have to think about all these things. You could just go and I need a stealth sleight of hand check. Okay, and as long as you know where to go look, you can roll the dice. It'll do the math and then go back to your storytelling. So good point there. Let's see here. Let's get the banner back to D&D Beyond. We're on D&D Beyond. We're almost done. We've done the character. From the DM's perspective, I want to go back to that all the time and show that banner over and over and over. Be the dungeon master, start a campaign, invite your players, and then you can view all these player, like I'm looking at Nikki's character right now, and I can help her if she doesn't know how to do a certain thing, or if I just want to referee, like, okay, wait a minute, you have disadvantage on stealth, so make sure you're rolling with disadvantage. All right. It's time to go back to the Lego part, I think. So let me know in the chat if you have any more questions about D&D Beyond. KO saying, do I need a Dungeon Master book to learn to be a DM to D&D? I want to say no. Not really. I got it, of course, but I don't use, like, it's this thing, I barely crack it open. And I barely read it. A lot more information is in the player handbook. Helping your players play the game. And then choosing an adventure is the other very useful thing. Yeah, short answer is I don't know that you need the DM's guide. Now, when the new one comes out, maybe it's better. Hopefully it's better. All right, so I don't have 2 cameras on, but we want to get back to Red Dragon's Tale and maybe do this video in less than an hour. So we got about 15, 18 minutes left. Let's show how I've expanded on using the Lego set, because you'll basically use it like a board game to move the players around, move the monsters around. And I have a very helpful hint on expanding the rooms to larger sizes so you can move your players around and move your monsters around. All right, I think we're covering it. Here is the set, and you'll see you can break the set apart into halves, and you have this bridge scene, you have this nature scene, and then you have this tavern. It's called In Plain Sight. It's a pretty clever use of words. And you have this tower that has like a dungeon, and I've kind of cleared out the dungeon already. But I'll show you 2 things. Here is the tavern. And how are you supposed to, like, put this guy up here? You can't even do it with the sword And I've already removed the bed and the mimic, and you can only get like one person in there. So what I've done to make this easier is I've remade the room. So this room up here, and you can take the module off. This is the room that I've rebuilt, and you can see there was a bag of holding over here. Everything's mirrored onto here. It doesn't show you how you get into the room, so you got to come up the stairs somewhere, and you see a mimic chest, or maybe you hide that that's a mimic. There's a fireplace in the corner. There's a bed here, and there's a closet into a smaller room with a bed. And I've even placed the windows where the windows are. But on here, you can have all the characters pop into the room. All 4 of them. And then have some surprise, like, here comes a displacer beast, look out. Roll for initiative. And that means rolling for the order of who gets to attack first. Boom, you go first. Boom, you go second. And then maybe the monster gets to go. And you can do all that. And maybe somebody runs down out of the way, or tries to take cover out in the hallway, or teleports away. You can shoot from range. You can attack from up close. And there's a lot of rules for the combat. But a very helpful hint for me is to build a simple version of the room or the dungeon on a larger scale, so that you can play through it without knocking the set all apart, because you just can't do it in here. I'll show you 2 different scenes like that. So that's the upstairs room. Here is the part of the tower. So if you look at, and you can take this tower apart. This is the bottom level. That's somewhere else. This is the staircase and the key. And you see a door in there. And there's a way to get up. And it's just a small little room. But I've recreated that right here as something happens. So you can kind of see this little green area is this little green area with the key. And there's a door back here. And there's a dragon statue thing. And there's a couple ways to get up. Come up from the dungeon. These stairs go up into here. And you go outside and up these stairs, and that goes up these stairs to the next level of the tower. So that actually goes up to there. So you can use the Lego set and expand on it so that you can put your characters in here. And then all of a sudden, an owl bear comes up from outside, and a spider attacks from the stairs, and all your players fit in here a lot better, much better for running the combat. And running the combat is a whole nother thing. Thanks, Extra Bricks. That's what I'm trying to do with this video. Show you how to and if you don't want to make this whole thing, and you're in this space, you might just have to use the table with nothing, and that's fine. But I don't recommend actually using the Lego set as the combat room. arena, like you may just need to set things up. You guys are in here and you're surprised by a spider. What are you going to do? And the surprise, this guy's closest to the spider. So maybe he gets attacked first and then everybody else gets to react. So you could just play on the table. Don't try to fit everything inside the Lego set. That's not going to work. So that's my big rant. There's my rant of, yes, the Lego set is good. You can play the game with the set, but only kind of. It's more of a visual aid for your imagination, right? So you see this, but you have to imagine you're all in there and the spider came up from outside. And then you run your combat outside the Lego set. Just run your combat outside. Have the wizard, from a distance. These guys are all webbed up and you can grab some props and make some webbing. And now they're all webbed up. And then your wizard shoots a fireball. You grab your Lego and you take your fire and have fun with it. You don't need all these props. A lot of D&D is with your mind. So stimulate your mind, but have fun with Lego at the same time. I think it's cool that you can use, I'm going to go back to my screen here. Robert Escobar Show saying, hit the like button. Let me go back to my screen. I should have took a sip first. Hit the like button. Boop. And let me know what you think. If you have questions for me as a DM, Dungeon Master of D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, and from an AFOL, adult fan of Lego. I've been doing this for a while now. I was promoting myself as a beginner, but we made it through a full year of some 40 sessions plus another crew. Had 2 crews and all kinds of stuff. So I feel like I'm a novice now, a junior, not a sophomore anymore, and looking for more experience. And that is, let's see, where were we? Use your Lego. But my rant is number 2. I was playing the other day and we were using our imagination. And Nikki will know this. I forgot to swoosh the dragon on the screen, here comes the dragon. And it breathes fire. And we used our imagination and it went really fast because it was combat. I forgot to use this prop, and my one regret from our first session was I forgot to swoosh the dragon and use the Lego in the D&D. So it's useful, but you don't need it. But it might help your, just seeing it once is all, boom, okay. Now, where is it in relation to my player in the game? And how do I, do I run away? Do I fight the dragon? But yeah, got to swoosh the dragon. So I'll be playing again this Friday with the B team. The B team's going to join me, play those 4 characters again, baked right into the red dragon's tail. and we'll maybe try to do it a little faster. I'm not sure. It depends on the players. How do you want to do it? Do you want to hang out in the tavern and eat more hot wings, or take rests all the time? Do you want to explore outside more? Make sure you don't miss anything. You want to speed things up sometimes in the storytelling, and as a DM, it's up to you if you want to make them roll dice or just tell them, okay, you see this treasure chest and it contains this. It's not locked. You can go ahead and open doors. Try to seems like the door is like the big boss of every D&D campaign. Like, how do you open the door? Man, I think I did it, and we're under an hour. Any other questions out there? Just go for it. Red Dragon's Tail. Don't forget to have fun. Try to use D&D Beyond as a very useful tool. Invite your friends to play. It comes with 4 baked-in characters. And step up. Somebody has to be the dungeon master. I did, and I'm having a blast. You get to know all the secrets and read ahead, and the secrets in here also are part of the Lego set. You'll have more fun maybe playing and building the Lego set and knowing why these little mushroom guys are down here and why there's a little treasure sitting next to them. What's behind this door? And why the beholder is just staring you down. Where is the beholder in this story? So there's lots of fun baked into the adventure. This is an adventure module to play Dungeons and Dragons. It was very helpful to have dice and roll the game like the game would be rolled. Watch some how-to videos. I'm definitely a beginner out there. This is my first how-to play Dungeons and Dragons using Lego. There are, I would say, the Dungeon Dudes are the best example out there. Pretty easy to watch. They vibe off each other. Marty and Kelly of the Dungeon Dudes on YouTube. Ginny D is another one. She tells a lot of the role play story, like how to develop your character, how to give them a reason why they're adventuring together, and make the story fun just from storytelling perspective. And then, of course, there's Critical Role, the biggest voice actors playing Dungeons and Dragons show out in there. And other people. So you can watch people play, watch some how-to videos. Be careful if you read this book and you want to play. Only the dungeon master should really be reading that book. And that's what I got from me, Jesse's Brick Galaxy. I got some more rolling comments here. Whoops. Friends, yeah, you gotta get some homies. If you can't play in person, you can play online. We've done that. And Brick Hive is out there lurking. Hey, Brick Hive, hope you're all right. I had a small rant about playing D&D with the Lego set, and my battle arena is what you need to do to expand on it. Oh boy, yeah, you'll get some. We're all friends. Z's tuning in late. So I'm gonna try to log off here before it hits the 1 hour mark and make this part 1 of how to play Lego Dungeons and Dragons. I hope you enjoyed it. Look for us to play the game on my Critical Bricks playlist, Jesse's Brick Galaxy. Continuing more stories this Friday night. We play Friday nights, and that would be 8 o'clock Central. And that's it. I'm out.